Hello again, it's Mark and Paulette with the two travelers in Mexico, and we are here with Miguel and Regina, and we met them through something that they're working on, and I'll let them go into that in more detail, but basically they work for the government.
Yes.
And they are involved in doing the groundwork for a program to make it easier for expats to transition here in San Luis Potosi. And when we first met them, there was a questionnaire, and they asked us about what would make things easier for us. And I think you've been meeting with a lot of expats.
Yeah. A lot of them. Some people from Japan, some people from French people, basically German people, Colombian, from everywhere, right?
Mm-hmm.
And basically what we're trying to do is gather information for a program that we're trying to pitch.
Okay, we're basically trying to make things easy for you. It's just the main idea right now, but public services won't have to be so hard to get for you. So maybe if we can just get sometimes a bilingual service, bilingual staff in some establishments, it will help you. And that's what we're trying to do and pitch, and maybe help with some other connections you need with migration or the DIF or whatever. That's what the...
So, in San Luis Potosi, you have a lot of international companies that are already here and moving here.
There's like BMW.
Yeah.
Who else? Who else is big?
Yes, a
that's
lot
here?
of them. You know better than me, Mike.
I don't know. There's a lot of companies like from the industry for automotive cars, and then there's this like corridor for companies from San Luis that goes all the way to Querétaro, and then Mexico City, and then north to Monterrey, and then the border, right? So all this area, it's gonna be growing so it has grown a lot in the last years. And I don't know, I was talking to you guys last time, maybe 10 years ago it was not that a big of a problem because we didn't have so much, we have people from foreign people, but I think right now we are now getting into a real, I wouldn't say problem, but something that it's getting our attention, right? So that's the main purpose of the program, for starting to look at that and get better services for people when they come here, make their lives a little bit easier maybe, and get some information, some orientation from us and from the city, from the culture. So you know, it's not that hard when you come here. It's not that hard for you to get the information. You know, something to.
Yes, and it's also to be inclusive with everyone, because expats shouldn't spend a lot of money to get just basic services. It should be for everyone, and you can have access to them by help from people, local people. That's what we're trying to do. Yes.
Right.
It shouldn't be so hard.
So it's not just geared for industry that's moving here. It also involves people that say retire from another country to move here.
Every expat, every foreign people, yes, every tourist. There are a lot of companies here. Valeo is from France. Faurecia, it's huge. There's like 3 plants. They say like one, I don't know if I can say, but a big one is coming, just as BMW from America. So every day we get, I don't know, maybe 10 companies. There's like maybe 50 companies of Japan, and this is the third biggest German investment in San Luis Potosi, in all Latin America. That's huge.
And trying to answer the question is like, maybe we will need to justify from the point of the economic development the program, right? But eventually it will help like every foreign or expat that comes here, right? Because that's the final objective.
Well, like when Mark and I came here, we had to start the process on our visas, right?
Yeah.
And that was really hard for us because our Spanish was not good. But that's on us again.
Yeah.
But it was really difficult because we couldn't find anybody in immigration that spoke English.
Yes.
So for us, we had to hire somebody that was bilingual, that knew the procedures, that helped us, that we paid to make it happen. Otherwise, I think when you come here, it can be kind of frustrating. It's a little bit different. Mexico's a little bit different on how things are run versus the United States. And it's not the United States, I get it. But the procedures are kind of difficult to figure out sometimes when you're a foreigner coming to Mexico on your own. It's really difficult.
Yeah.
So I think this program, that you guys are working on, is really going to make a difference. I mean, I think it's great that, the government's trying to reach out to do that, to make a difference for people.
Yeah. And it's hard, like, I mean, in the United States, there are like cities so big, so because you have this amazing tourist.
Well, they have
Friendly
tourism
community.
senators.
Yeah, like.
Yeah.
So, what I'm trying to say is that it's difficult to involve all these languages and culture and everything. But what we can do is like take this universal language maybe first, and then from there try to reach everyone. I think it will be helpful if it's in English, like in the menu, like some menus in Spanish and English, and then some things like that.
And you were talking about signs. Maybe some signs.
Some important signs. And then Regina and I were talking about maybe doing some like a kind of a guide, like so at the beginning where are these places that are expat friendly, maybe with a little sign, like maybe outside on the restaurant or the drugstore or something like that, like where are these things, so maybe you can go there straight there.
Sure.
Maybe some ATMs that that this ATM has the English menu as well. We are trying to develop this program as fast as we can.
We traded spots, Regina and I. So this program is really a win-win situation, and we'll let Regina talk about that.
Okay, the reason for that is that Mexico has a lot of beautiful things to offer, but also the work rate and the economy is not the number one in the world. Every expat visitor is helping the economy, so this is a win-win situation because it shouldn't be a luxury for you to go maybe to San Miguel or Puerto Vallarta or those places where everything is easy because it's just made for tourists. It should be maybe more, easy. That's why we think it's a win-win, so people can keep coming, and it helps a lot of the economy, people getting jobs and anything. Yes.
Oh, absolutely, because a lot of those places, like you were saying, Cancun, Puerto Vallarta, San Miguel de Allende, what are some other ones?
Ajijic, Chapala to a certain extent.
Ajijic.
Ajijic.
Yeah, a lot of those places are basically expat communities, expat havens. They're known. Huatuco, is that how you say it? Huatuco? That's another one too, that a lot of expats go to. But like you were saying, the idea of making it friendlier, coming to what's the word I'm trying to say?
Fusion.
Yeah. For everybody, I think is fantastic.
Yeah.
I really do, because a lot of people don't go to a lot of other places either, and I think if it was more friendly or, this project takes off, I think a lot more people would be going to a lot of different places.
Yeah.
I really do.
And coming to San Luis Potosi.
And a lot of other ones too. But yeah, San Luis, I mean, we fell in love with San Luis Potosi. That's why we're here.
Yeah.
You know, we had to come. We left Morelia to come here. That's how much we love it. And now we are in the process of looking to buy a home and make San Luis Potosi our home. So that should tell you about the love we have.
I'm very glad you guys feel welcome here, and I want everyone to feel welcome. That's the main point of this program.
Right. You're in the foundation steps of this now, trying to build the program and then start to develop it, and then go from there. But it's a program that I think is really worthwhile because you know, it will help with not only people moving here with their companies from other countries, but people retiring in San Luis Potosi. It will help them to sort of ease into the transition of living in San Luis Potosi, making things a little bit easier through things like you talked about, like you know, English menus as an example.
Maybe in the future we'll start with English menus. We will start with the simple things, and then maybe we could have this guide, you know, we were talking about, and then maybe like
Call center.
I hope so. I hope soon, but maybe in the future you can just know what to do to make a company for you guys to here in our country, or a business. I think the program is good. It has all the benefits for you guys and for us and for the city.
How many would you say live here that are foreigners? 10,000?
15,000.
15,000? Okay.
And it's
think
growing.
so,
Every day
maybe.
it's growing.
Okay, and a lot of them are from the industrial area though, right? Because of the business?
Most of them.
Most of them, but not all of them.
everyone.
Yeah.
Okay.
And we can attest to that. We've been looking at a number of new homes and in communities out here, and they're going up left and right.
Oh yeah, the communities are just
You know,
growing.
via Magna and places like that. And so
Pozo.
Pozos. Yeah.
Over by is Pozo like by the industrial area too? Is that
It is
Yes.
part of
okay.
the industrial
So there's
area.
a lot of communities that are coming in, I think, for the families that are moving here.
Yeah.
You know, whether a job or, you know, whether they, retiring or whether they come here for the job to start out, and then they fall in love with San Luis Potosi like we did, and they stay and make it
Yeah.
their home.
Yeah,
Hopefully.
exactly.
You know?
Yeah, there's a lot of people that has their original plan is to stay here for maybe 2 years, 3 years with the company, or I don't know, or
Yeah.
maybe visiting, you know,
Right.
and then they change their original plans, and that's when maybe they would have these problems for looking into information, for looking to
Right.
what do I do for the first step for moving here, right?
Right.
What that's when I think we need to start to make
Focus on and to expand for that.
apart for the little things from the restaurants and you know, apart for that, I think that's a good place to start as well.
Helping them to connect with different agencies, healthcare,
Yeah, exactly.
things of that nature.
And pharmacies, doctors, I don't know. And I think it's going to be beneficial for San Luis or Mexico if people from other parts of the world come here and they sometimes like volunteer, or they have more conscious about animals. Mexico is a little bit late for that, so I think they can learn from us, and we can learn from you. They can learn from maybe your family culture, or maybe a lot of big values Mexicans have, and the working mindset. I think we have a lot to offer, but we also need that mindset of, I don't know, maybe avoid consumism, or rescue animals.
Oh, I think that's good.
I would love that. Yes.
Yeah. Because in the United States, animals for a lot of people are part of the family.
I love that.
You know, they're
We
part
need
of the
that.
family, and you know, there's a lot of animal like sanctuaries and things like that. You know, where
Shelters.
shelters.
We don't have
yeah.
that here, so I really like expats. I love expats who come here and help.
Yeah, so that's something that expats can bring. You know, that might also benefit
Yes.
San Luis Potosi and anywhere in Mexico, really.
Yes, yes. And another thing, I met this French guy that started to do this
Bakery.
bakery. Yeah. And he was really, really good. And I didn't. I mean, I know I went to France, but not that close enough for
Right.
And I like that. So maybe it's a good thing for us to share all these things, but in a more intimate way.
Right.
What's his name? Antoine?
I'm gonna
Yes,
get it for
Antoine.
you, and then
Yeah.
you can.
I
Yes,
think we've met
it's
him.
Antoine.
Yeah, we met Antoine in the
Andrea.
show.
Oh yeah,
Yes.
that's the guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's
It's-
from France. She's from Mexico.
Yeah, it's good.
And they got married. They have children here.
Yes, and also his plan wasn't to stay here. He met his wife here, and then they had children. And then like he stayed
Yeah.
and
he loves it.
yeah, he loves
He
it.
absolutely loves
Yeah,
it
yeah,
now.
Yeah,
And his family comes over to visit, and they love Mexico too.
Yes.
yeah.
So it's just I love that whole I don't know how you say it. Like I like that whole thing, like where you bring your family over to see what Mexico's really like. They fall in love with it.
But there are places that are very, very special and worth the visit, right? I think that's the way for San Luis. Like if it's not very common that foreign people know San Luis. Maybe it's not
Well,
very
I think
common.
to us now they do.
Yeah, but sometimes they will tell you, oh yes, Cancun and Oaxaca or Mexico City maybe. But I think it's worth the visit, San Luis.
Yes, it is.
Definitely worth the visit. I mean, we've only been here since November, and we want to make it our home. So what does that say?
You guys are very welcome, and thank you so much for valuing our city. I want to mention that if you look in the Mexico map, San Luis Potosi is the one with the doggy form, with the schnauzer doggy form, and you can also find that San Luis Potosi is the city where you can find the 4 types of weather. If you want snow, you can just drive 4 hours away to Coahuila and Monterreal Cabanes, where the snow is full of snow. You can go to the beach in maybe Puerto Vallarta or maybe Ixtapa. Maybe it's a 5-hour drive, but we have all types of weather here.
Yeah, that's what we love about it too. I think
Sure.
the weather's perfect.
Yes, and you can get any type of weather you want it to a 3-hour drive.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's interesting because
It
it's
is.
it's high desert here,
It is.
but it's not with the overwhelming heat that you would see in like California.
Yeah.
I mean the hottest time of the year, it gets to maybe 85 to somewhere between 85 and 90
Yeah.
degrees Fahrenheit, which is maybe 30 degrees Celsius.
Yes,
roughly.
it's not higher than that.
Yeah.
What I've heard about San Luis, that's we are in a very main point of the map, is that we're close to a lot of cities. Mexico City, it's 3-hour drive from here. Sorry. You have Guanajuato, 2-hour drive. You have León, it's 2.5-hour drive. Actually, I've been there like maybe 1 month ago. You have San Miguel de Allende, it's 2-hour and 40-minute drive-ish. Yes. And you're close from everything. You're close from Guadalajara. There's actually a new highway that gets you from San Luis to Guadalajara in 3 hours. That's right.
Yeah.
There's a lot of concerts.
All these places, León, Aguascalientes, there are less than 2 hours.
Sure.
You have also Zacatecas. You mentioned Querétaro, Guanajuato, San Miguel, also Mexico City. And Regina says to me, if you drive fast enough, maybe also Monterrey is very close.
And the location here too, if you needed to get across the border to the U.S. or whatever, you can do that. I think
In a day.
In a day.
In a day.
It's an easy drive across the border if we need to go back.
Sure it is.
So it's a great central location, I think, for a lot of things, for a lot of places like you just named. Or if you need to get to the United States, go into Texas, you can do that in a day's drive. It's good in my book.
Thank you so much for meeting us here,
Yeah.
and